Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with your holistic healer, aka Sonia Big. So I'm gonna just be really quick and get straight into this message, y'all. Okay, so this is the same intro as the other messages. Anyway, so the message that I received in regards to this prophetic message was the fact of I pulled up at this car wash. Right, I'm gonna just get straight to the point and try to be short and quick. This is like my third time recording this. Anyway, because I left something out in the other video. Anyway, so with that being said, I pulled up, got out of the car. There was a foreigner who was there, and he had like a little smudging bowl, should I say. He had a bunch of little incense cones in there, you know, the kind that you melt and they come like look like a little volcano erupting down a little small mountain or whatever. He had a bunch of those inside of a bowl. And the message that I received for that was he was offering up a offering to God, should I say, because he was in my presence, should I say. So I say all that to say that some of you guys may find that other people are doing this as well, you know, around you, should I say. So God is just revealing what's taking place. So anyway, with all that being said, so they benefit off your energy and being around you. I know I thought I was done with this conversation in 2021, but I guess not. So God is just letting me know that in 2022, this is what's happening. And this is part of the reason why people were being asked to be released, at least people from the past or whatever the case may be, because now it's almost like everybody is serving or has served their point. I'm not pointing a finger or people blaming, should I say. I'm just letting you know what God has been revealing. So that's why it's important to let people go, because it's almost like as long as you are around, they benefit off of that. Okay, so I noticed also that I was standing outside the car. As I got out of the car and the gentleman had walked past with his little smudging bowl or whatever, I noticed I had on a towel, you know, a little hand towel, and I had it wrapped right here because I didn't have a shirt on, should I say. So with that being said, I didn't have a shirt on, but the towel was kind of wet. So the representation of the towel being wet was just letting me know that I was in my feelings and my emotions. But at the same time, I was also cloaking my heart as well, too, from just being, you know, just not really being sure and just being around other people and so on and so on. So not really putting my heart completely out there, in other words. So we're skipping scenes now. So then I ended up inside. And it was always, excuse me, and then it was also a way to me to protect my heart as well, too, because I realized and I sense that other people don't necessarily sometimes have the best intention. Again, I'm not saying that their intentions are wrong. I'm not saying that their intentions are right, but just like you have done the work, they should be doing the same exact thing as well, too, you know, in order to, you know, I don't know how to say that. But again, I'm not finger pointing. I'm just saying. But at the same time, so we moved inside. There was two people, you know, inside. As you walk down the hallway, you see your car coming through the machine and you can see it going down the little belt or whatever the case may be. So I walked to the counter to go pay. The gentleman wasn't there who normally is there, should I say. I noticed he wasn't there. But then all of a sudden, God had brought to my attention the color of the wall. So the color of the wall was like this. I don't want to mess with the camera. It's like this ocean blue, like a... not dark blue, but an ocean, like a deep blue. Anyway, so with that being said, I noticed the color on the wall and I thought to myself, it's different in here. So, and then I noticed there was a table where people kind of like do promotion work at. Well, you know, sometimes when I say promotion work, I mean like sometimes Girl Scouts could be selling Girl Scout cookies, let's just say outside of a grocery store. It's kind of similar to that, or whether it be something like Verizon setting up a table trying to do promotion work. It was something similar to that. I got the feeling like this individual was selling like car insurance or something inside. But anyway, so with that being said, I didn't see the owner or the person who normally runs, should I say. He wasn't at the front desk, but then all of a sudden he had appeared at the desk. But then the lady who was sitting at the promotional table, she was sitting there talking to a gentleman, and he was sitting there talking to him. Another gentleman had arrived, and as he had arrived, he was kind of making fun of, in a sense, not he type fun, but he was just kind of being a little smart in a sense, like, yeah, man, like, why you put all that $150 in a collection plate this past? And first thing I thought to myself, church. Why he put $150, and I don't know why 150 specifically came out, but that was the number that God had given me, in a sense. So the $150 was the gentleman had the money folded up like this. For some particular reason, I could see him putting it in a church collection plate as the guy said that, even though he wasn't at church. But when he said that, I could see it happening. It's almost like I was seeing it with my third eye, in a sense. As he was saying it, I was visualizing it. Anyway, so with that being said, so after that, it's like the gentleman kind of said something to him, and then all of a sudden, it's like I was over there at the table trying to get like a little bit of coffee or whatever the case may be. But then it's almost like the gentleman came and kind of messed with him. So then it's like all of a sudden he started kind of trying to mess with me. And I wasn't bothering him. I wasn't saying anything to him. But then he was like, Sonia. And I looked at him and I'm like, how do I know you? I don't know you. You know, like, how you know my name? You know, I kind of got into my feelings. And remember I said in the beginning, I was in my feelings and cloaking myself because I had a towel on my chest or whatever. But anyway, you know, usually a representation of not having a top on. It has something to do with nurturing, you know, because if you think about the breast or whatever, it's about nurturing, you know, that's how mother nurtures their babies, you know, they give them food, you know, through their breasts or whatever the case may be. So I'm just telling you, just part of the symbolism had something to do with that. But anyway, so because I was cloaking myself, I wasn't truly being myself. In other words, I was protecting my heart, protecting myself from other people, in a sense. So anyway, so after the other guy was kind of done picking with him, it's like he decided to come pick with me now. So it's like all of a sudden the dude said something to him about the $150, and he's like, Sonia, and so on and so on. I'm like, and they're like, how you know my name? Like, why are you even saying my name? I don't know you. Like, how do you know me, in a sense? Because he said church, the first thing I thought to myself, like, did this have something to do with church or whatever the case may be? So anyway, so with that being said, he said something smart. So I said something smart back to him. And then it's like, it's almost like he didn't like that. So what he did was he had like this little, it reminds me of like a little laser type gun, but it reminded me of like a little glue gun. And the reason why I said a glue gun, because he needed to plug it into the wall. I saw the cord for it, but he was kind of aiming it at me. And I looked at him, I said, now, why would you do that? You know, why would you point that at me like that, or whatever the case may be? And then I guess, I don't know if he thought I was going to get offended, you know, get upset or become fearful because he was saying that. But I just went on doing what it was that I was supposed to be doing. And I was trying to pour some coffee into the mug, should I say. So anyway, because they had like a little table that had coffee on it or whatever. So I poured some coffee into the mug or whatever. But I noticed as I was pouring it, I noticed some beans down at the bottom of the coffee kettle, the glass kettle, the glass thermal, whatever you want to call it, of the coffee pot. So I noticed that, and I noticed it was almost like some cilantro's down like at the bottom. I was like, why is this in here? And then I kept pouring it and noticed that it was some more, it was even more down at the bottom. So I just took the coffee and poured it into the trash or whatever the case may be. So I say all that to say that God was just letting me know that, you know, some of us have not really been stepping into our true power, should I say, or stepping into our true positions. And I say all that to say because it's almost like, you know, with the beans, it's a representation of that has something to do with wealth, you know, it has something to do with finances, you know, money, abundance, and so on and so on. So just the mere fact of pouring like the coffee into the trash along with the cilantro, because it was green. I'm not really sure the meaning of cilantro, but because it's green, it's coming from Mother Earth, and so on and so on. It's usually a symbolism of wealth again. So I say all that to say that God was just saying it's almost like pouring people, you know, it's almost like a waste of talent going down, not down the drain, but into the trash, in a sense, when, you know, somebody else can be using it, in other words. So I say all that to say that God is asking, you know, some of us to step up to the plate. You know, this is part of the reason why the dream, when I say we're going higher, should I say, in that last dream, you know, we're evolving higher and going higher, should I say, because God wants you to take your mindset to a higher levels and stop looking at things like how you looked at it in 2021. It's time to change perspectives in 2022 and move a little differently, because if not, it's almost like God is just saying that that's kind of like it's a symbolism of what's happening. It's almost like dude is giving his money, let me just say, giving his $150 to the church, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the way I got the feeling of was like the church was like benefiting from that, and maybe they didn't deserve to benefit from that, is what I was getting at the time that I had wrote that dream down. Because dream is not only about dreaming a dream, but it's about how you're feeling in that dream as well too, what's taking place, how you're feeling at that time, and so on and so on. That plays key factors. So I say all that to say it was almost like God was just showing me, like, you know, this money is being wasted, you know, in almost like frivolous places. And the other thing that came to mind also that God was bringing to my attention as I was writing that dream down is like he was just telling me, it's almost like the man who set the hunt, and there's nothing wrong with giving. I'm not saying not to give. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just a matter of sometimes you don't know who you're giving to and what their intentions are. So it's people's intentions behind giving, because, you know, so many churches nowadays, it's like, what are their true agendas, should I say? You know, is it just about money? And is it just about power? Is it just about getting the people to constantly bring money to the storehouse? You know, because I know me, when I was in church, not to get into a long story, it would seem like it was the same story week after week after week. And I clearly remember that sometimes there would be times where I would not sign the envelope or put money in, but then there became an issue, and this was the issue for me. So if churches are operating like that, then, you know, that ain't right, should I say. So I say all that to say that because, like, I guess they keep little logs of who's joined the church and who has contributed what, so they can give them their tax write-off or whatever the case may be. But the point of the matter is, if you're choosing to not say who you are when you're giving, and they have no record of that, but then there's like all of a sudden, oh, well, I noticed that you have not given, so I'm not going to offer this and that service to you. You understand what I'm saying? So it shouldn't even be that way, you know. But that's just actually an example, because that was like a true story that kind of happened to me. And that was like my wits of dealing with the church, should I say. So anyway, because someone had actually told me that, you know, well, why do you have to put your name on the envelope? And, you know, when you think about it, you shouldn't have to say who this is coming from. You know, it should just be the fact of God know who's it's coming from. So why do you as the church need to know who it's coming from? You know, that's a way just to kind of keep track of who's paying what, you know, make you feel guilty and blah. Oh, I know she didn't do this. It's a way to program you into doing what it is that they want you to do. But when they said this, like, why do you got to put a name on the envelope? You know, that kind of makes sense to me. So I stopped putting my name on the envelope, you know, because that was my choice to, not because they said it, but it made me think about things from a different perspective. So as I stopped putting my name on the envelopes, it's just like I started, and it was like, thank you, Spirit. I'm hearing Spirit say like that was meant to happen, because you was meant to see that if you had not have done that, you wouldn't have known the truth behind the things that they were doing. So, and I realized that another member who was part of the church, she was part of the choir, but she also stayed in this neighborhood, you know, prior to us buying our house or whatever the case may be. She stayed in this neighborhood, you know, where we used to live at. And she and I had a conversation with her one day, and I was actually telling her, I was like, yeah. So I was like, you know, well, this and that had happened to me, and I didn't understand why. And it just seemed like everything was shifting in the church. You know, the people who had, you know, I don't want to say who had counseled myself and my spouse at that time, should I say, in regards to, you know, prior to getting married, should I say, you know, it's almost like they end up leaving the church. So I was like, you know, what's going on here? Because they seemed like they was real dedicated people to God, should I say. And I say all that to say, for them to leave the church and have been there for so long, that was a little questionable. So I just started to see things shift, like after they had left or whatever the case may be. And maybe they knew something that the congregation didn't know. But I say all that to say that if I had not stopped putting my name on the envelope, I would have not known the little tactics and the little things that they were doing behind scenes. Because yes, one of the ladies, like I said, who was in the church choir, she actually confirmed what I was saying. She said, yeah, they have a habit of kind of doing that or whatever the case may be. So when she said that, that was another confirmation. So I was like, okay, it's time to go or whatever the case may be. Because that, I mean, as long as God knows what you're doing, you don't have to tell anybody else what you're doing, you know, especially if you're giving. Why does that matter? As long as you're receiving, you're getting. Why do you need to know who it's coming from? I'm there. If you want to say you want to know who it's coming from because you want to give them thanks, that's a different story. But that's a lot of people to be thinking inside the church. But anyway, so with all that being said, don't waste your gifts. Don't waste your talents. God gave you something, so he wants you to use it so that you can benefit from it. I wish you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. Bye.